Welcome back, loyal viewer. We're in a series here, a super exciting one. Each one of these videos should stand alone as its own point of value, but this is a sequence of 4. And this series covers 4 things related to rolling the dice rolling, our process within the Prestige when we find somebody that is in a point of confusion, uncertainty, maybe a lack of motivation. What do they do next? Now, generally speaking to the coaches first, if you find your client in this position, and you haven't started an engagement, don't take their money, send them away, do something else. If you find somebody coming in and they had a point of focus, but it sucked, or maybe it wasn't too authentic, look, this happens sometimes. We don't always know ourselves. We have a process in the Prestige called the Incendium. It's a 10-week accelerator, and it starts with something we call the Oracle's Edge, which is a comprehensive 360 somatic assessment that merges who you are, your somatic profile, indicating what you can actually do. Like, you want to do the thing, but are you able to show up and inhabit the body and the persona, the psychosoma of the person that can achieve it? We're able to assess that even before the journey starts. But then the second part of that is how we fit it to what matters most. Awesome assessment. Then we go into a following 8 weeks of an accelerated coaching process where we do awesome things. We build businesses, we get the bodies of dreams, we do the full spectrum, and it's glorious. And the heavens open and the angels cry. It's a real thing. But look, sometimes we're all committed. We got the person that's all in. They know what they want. But then through this process, and this is rare, but it happens with shapeshifters. If you know our Somatic Skins model, link is always somewhere in the description in most of our videos, but it'll tell you orientation. This happens particularly with the shapeshifter somatic profile. Those who orient around adaptation and release and yielding as a primary somatic skin. All of these skins are powerful in their own right, but at their deficits or confronted with enough pressure, they tend to present liabilities. And so the shapeshifter under pressure tends to retreat. But how do you retreat when you're in a process? You've already made the commitment. This is complicated. But it's also a good place to be because it's only within that container of pressure, either internally dictated, like you say, I'm going to commit to this thing for myself, or in a coaching relationship where the coach says, we made a commitment together, where you can't just say, I'm going to just move the goalpost and change the terms. That's where the real learning begins. Anyway, this is a process. Now, if you wind up within a process of commitment, but you've lost confidence in the direction, maybe you find yourself uncertain. Maybe I don't know what actions to take next. And more thinking is only convoluting your perception. Like, it's just getting worse. Boom, legendary solution. The die. I talk about the premise of this in the first video, the filter. If you haven't done that after this video, go back and watch that. It's critical. It helps you filter the options that are truly meaningful as a launch point into this process. The second video dealt with the actual role itself. There are ways of doing this, so you need to know how that works. This video is going to be about implementation, but if you haven't done the first step, we've got a document called the filter, link in the description. Download it, use it, it does it for you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already available. And that'll help you through the first step. Second step is pretty clear, already dictated in the video. Third step, implementation. I've already rolled the die. If you remember in the last video, what did I roll? I rolled for a craft/hobby of mine that I'm very passionate about. I've been practicing the rope dart and my own system of soft weapons for nearly 2 decades. It's a point of passion, but last few months haven't done it enough. I gave it a 1 out of 6 option on the dice. I had something that was more meaningful, which was business, communicating our somatic model to find people like yourself, and I would have to do a video a day to communicate how what we do is different from standard somatics in the world of somatics, how that is usually about sensory observation, trying to see what is truly aligned and how the body responds to ideas and sensations and what it can tell us, and also how to heal from traumas. These are all fantastic, but they're one narrow realm of what we do, which is then what? We get to a point of center. We release from certain traumas. But are we more powerful, or are we just more sensitive at this point? You're more sensitive. The world gives you the same impact it did before, but now I'm aware of more, I'm feeling more, and I don't have the tools to do anything about it. So what happens? I keep retreating. Weak sauce. What we do is we give you the tools, the somatic skins, give you the insights and the range to explore more focus, more tension and structure, more release and adaptation, and more sensitivity without getting stuck in one of these personas, but the choice to move into different character traits as needed. It's a powerful system, and we get to coach this on the regular. Anyway, I didn't roll it, but hey, I'm delivering because I'm now consciously aware of it. Didn't get the roll, but hey, I discovered it was meaningful, so here you go, you get that from me too. This is my most manic video series ever, by the way. Normally I'm more calm and collected, but hey, when it comes to rolling for random shit, I'm all in. So I rolled a 1. By the end of 7 days, I've got to build and do this thing with the rope dart, my sash. I've got to complete a sequence today that I cannot execute, and within 7 days demonstrate that I can do it. Doesn't have to be perfect, have to be able to complete it in full. That's what I rolled the dice for. So that was a 1, by the way. Boom, 1 on the die. There we go. Now I have to execute. So that gives me the rest of the day or 2 days or whatever that time is on the clock now. So I need to plot a course. I need to decide, well, reverse engineer it. In 7 days I have to achieve this. What does that mean I need to do and execute on a daily basis leading up to that? Does it require a lot of volume? Do I need 2 hours a day? Does it require precision technical practice that I can do in 20 or 30 minutes of effort and pressure? I need to design a course for that. Identify the sequence, decide what it'll take to put it together. May or may not work. I might fail, and in which case we talk about the initiation and the consequence in the next video. Another critical step. But I plot the course, and it's crystal fucking clear. It has to be clear. That's the point of filtering in the first video. Is it clear enough to roll the dice and implement? But now that I've rolled it, I need to look at it again and say, exactly how do I do this according to my schedule? How much allocation? How much effort and energy? What do I need? Do I need to do research to figure out how to do this? So I've got to put that together. Once I have the action plan, now it's the execution. This is where, especially for shapeshifters, this becomes difficult because you are used to finding loopholes, renegotiating with yourself, moving the goalpost, and changing the terms. When it comes to dice coaching and dice rolling for personal development and performance, this is where the buck stops, the rubber meets the road. Take your metaphor. This is the fucking point of it all. This is where it matters the most. We don't get an out. Whatever comes up on the die, whatever I put down on that sheet of paper before I rolled the die, there is no bending or renegotiation. This is beyond critical. And for somebody that finds themselves already in a place of confusion, how much worse does it get when you enter a commitment for 7 days and you give yourself renegotiations? Well, I was supposed to do this today, but I'm going to be a little bit malleable. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Well, I was supposed to do this amount of time. I cut it under a little bit, but I'll add a little bit more the next time. Great. You realize you can't even keep a commitment to yourself. And so one of the things that we do is even if you achieve the goal, but you negotiate on the process, you fail. This is the standard we use in the coaching process. It might also be the type of thing where it's negotiated in terms of the implementation. Somebody might say, I'm going to do 10 talking head videos, but then they start to realize that confrontation with themselves, and they do the first few, and they just decide, well, I'm going to put a photo, and then I'm going to put some text, and it's going to meet all the criteria. It's going to have a hook. It's going to have, it's going to talk to my ideal audience, and it's going to give a clear message, and it's going to have a CTA. Okay, it's going to go through all these things. Now I'm nervous. I don't want to be in front of video. So what I'm going to do, I'll put a few images and I'll create a great caption. Great. I did 10 of these. Yeah, well, you failed. You fucking failed. And now we have the penalty to deal with it. So in implementation, the magic of dicing and the magic of dice coaching, I'm not teaching you to do anything. You're also not discovering it from the ether, doing research, finding a key blurb or insight from your favorite, influencer or talking head. Like, it's not about finding an insight. It's about creating the conditions where your mind, body have to find a way through a process that has strict terms, and you learn through that process true meaning for yourself. We talked about this in the prior video. In the first video of the filter. The problem is this, there are a lot of great ideas, but when we really think about what matters most to us, It's easy to see these 6 categories are essential. Family matters to me, business matters, passion matters, maybe philanthropy matters, maybe novelty matters, maybe pet matters. I mean, you can think of the things that truly matter most to you. These things don't then get renegotiated in principle, but the underlying target needs to fall in that category to where you've already established, yeah, to the best of my ability, this is something that not only matters and is meaningful, but it's also relevant now and somewhat urgent. So once you've done that filtering work, now is not the time to reassess. You've already done that work. It's just that now is the moment that where you are, who you are, and how you show up is revealed through the process. And this is where the incredible transformation starts to occur. And one of 2 things happens. You find ways of negotiating and retreating and kind of bending the rules a little bit to say, I'm still an achiever. I did the thing that I said I would, only different than I said I was going to do it. Okay, well, you're playing games with yourself. Let's kill that first, person of integrity. Let's make sure we know who we are, what matters. But the second thing is this. Let's say you go all in. Now, there are 2 possible consequences. One consequence is that you achieve the target and you go all in. And it was great. I learned a super important thing. And in fact, that thing is as important as I thought it was. And I moved the needle on it. And maybe it deserves another roll on the die. Another option is I went all in. I achieved the thing, but then I said, but you know what? I've done the thing and I don't feel like it mattered a great deal. I could have just not done it and it would have been the same. Okay, I've learned that as an action within a category, this thing no longer deserves attention within this process. I eliminate it the next week. The third option is that I go all in and I fail. Now I fail going all in and then I realize one of 2 things. I take the penalty. And this is where it gets exciting. I explain how that works in the next one. But I learned through that process, okay, if I'm going to go all in, now I need to ask, is the juice worth the squeeze, even if I fail? If the answer is still yes, now you have a super action and a super category. Because if you're willing to go all in and do something and not succeed, take the penalty, and then choose it again because it's meritorious, because it matters of its own accord, we're in a category of extreme value for you. This is a great filter, but you only know it when you go all in and don't succeed, right? So, the process, the implementation. There is no negotiation. There is no soft rebrand or rebuild. You either go all in or you take the penalty. This is one of the most critical factors in this. Because look, let's say that you compromise. What is the coach going to support you with? What are you going to talk to yourself about other than this one thing? Great. You lack integrity. I need to coach you on integrity? Integrity is not an idea. Integrity is an embodiment. You are that person. You show up this way. It's a thing you do. And that is only practiced and realized by actually showing up over and over again. Okay, so it's not only a fail in this process, but it's an uncoachable problem. Unless we create the constraints, just like we did, where you need to show up to meaningful things and prove to yourself that you are the type of person that does. That's the development of integrity. This is a complex problem, and it's where a lot of coaches go wrong because just pointing it out does almost nothing. Okay, then what? It's not a concept. Integrity is not an idea. Gotta show up anyway. All we learned is that next week, you gotta show up and take the penalty if you fail. But you have to take the penalty, which is what we talk about in the next video. So I'm going to transition to that one. Thank you for staying with me. This stuff is so fun, so cool. And believe it or not, we build businesses, bodies, passions, and futures on this crazy shit. And you can too. Download the filter, French. Implement it for yourself. Give it a try if you want. It's super cool. And if you discover that you would like real steering with people that, oddly enough, I've been doing this crap for over 15 years, mad scientist of it. I wrote a book about it, Law of the Die. Check it out. It's fantastic. If you feel like you could use support because you are uncertain and not really sure about what next steps, but you see inside of yourself, there is a passion and a drive here that needs expression. I need to create something with this energy inside, but I don't know how to unlock it. Links in the description. You know where to find us. We do awesome work at The Prestige. Video to my left is going to be the next video in sequence. It's going to take you to the penalty/initiation. Video on this side is going to introduce more of the prestige to you, our model of performance. It's a masterclass on embodiment, our particular flavor on embodiment and somatic orientation expression. It's a great video if you want to know more about what we do and how we help high performers, driven individuals into that next level to create something they can't name yet. It's how we do it. It's very fun. It's very cool. I'll stop the cursing. Next video, initiation. Click it. See you there.